Okay, so it is official that Liquid signed Rainmaker and Patsy. And Liege is gone. So this kind of like blows for an ACS. Like, I'll be honest, while Liquid didn't really look good for a while. I mean, Liquid was definitely our our best team, and it's really sad that they're now a European team, and like now we have to live in a world where Liege is not on Liquid. Liquid's not an NA team, and NAF and Liege are on separate teams now. And that NAF is on a European team, which also blows. I mean, so now, if you really want to support NA like hard, you have either Complexity or EG, which, I'm gonna be honest, does not it really doesn't bring excitement to me, because both of those teams are just, well, I mean, EG, I think it kind of speaks for itself, but Complexity as well, it's just not, I don't see it. Okay, so the Liege is set to move to Complexity. From Liquid, he's set to join Complexity, which would make Complexity's team look like this, with JT, Floppy, Grim, Halzerk, and Liege. Bang is now benched. I don't know. The roster lock is already here, so there's really no other changes for the time being. Maybe that could be later, I suppose, but I don't know. Like, JT's good. He's good. I think him as an in-game leader, he's been able to kind of do a lot with what he's got, make do. Floppy, I don't know. I mean, Floppy's like not particularly amazing right now. I mean, everyone used to say that he was kind of NA's next great player or whatever, but hasn't really looked like that for the last year. Grim, he's okay. He's got that experience from being on Liquid before. I there's one positive. I am excited to see Grim play with the Liege again. Halzerk, he's okay. I mean, I wish Halzerk was more exciting. I wish he was better. I wish he was North American, maybe, just so it feels like it's kind of cooler. But I mean, he's okay. Fang, I will say, was probably the weakest link of the team, so it makes sense that he's benched out of all people. But man, it's just I suppose it's just new times, It's changing. Liquid's not a NA team, and the Liege is not on Liquid, and NAF is on a European team now. It's over. It's really over. It's truly the end times. If the NA hopeful is this Complexity team, it's kind of, I don't know. It's sad. It's really sad, you know, because this guy was on Liquid for 8 years. 8 years, you know. I'd say he's probably. I mean, okay, despite the fact that he'd been underperforming for the last like 2 years, I still would say that he's probably like top 3, top 4, all time in NA. I mean, with number 1 probably being Twist and number 2 being Stu. Elige, it's either Elige or Naf for 3 or 4, but yeah, it's something. We won a Grand Slam, you know. Actually, that's pretty much all they kind of did, or he did with the team, which is, I mean, in retrospect, it's not amazing, but I mean, you know, in 2018, they got a bunch of second places, right? I mean, but still, Grand Slam's still amazing. He was, you know, 2019, he was ranked the fourth best player in the world, which is incredible. And by all means, he's not like, I mean, he's fallen off a bit. You know, he has fallen off, you know, from his peak, right? He's kind of washed, quote unquote, in that regard, but he's not a bad player by any means. He's not completely poop, you know? I don't know, it's just. And then the other thing with like EG and like and all the, where is it? Yeah, so EG, instead of, so they were, you know, possibly considering a European core, which okay, which would have also been sad for NA, which would have really also been sad for NA, but I guess, I don't know. Okay, for better or for worse, EG, I don't know, for whatever reason, they were talking about getting in this European core with Jack, Sorte, and Electronic, where Elige would have also came in there, but EG just kind of changed their mind, I guess. I don't know. So now EG's just supposedly going to just promote EG Black, and then keep automatic, as is the only person from the previous roster on the main team, and it's disappointing, right? Because like, yes, if they went with the European core, it would have been sad, because then NA would have lost another, you know, NA team basically. But I mean, the players themselves, you know, Jack, Sorte, Electronic, and Elige, they thought it was gonna go through. Maybe automatic, maybe Tim thought it was gonna go through. And I kind of feel bad for them, because I guess it was maybe a surprise to them that it didn't go through. I don't know. It's only a speculation, really, but I don't know. I think this theoretical lineup that could have been maybe would probably have been more exciting and more successful than the complexity lineup that now is with the Liege. Tim deserves much better than this. I really wish that Tim would be picked up by just a different team, but hey, Liege, Liquid went European, so I guess that's out of the picture, and Complexity just signed Liege, and that's it. And I suppose, honestly, EG are very unwilling to give up Tim, because that's basically their only player that like actually means anything. They lose, like, they are already at like absolute zero respect, but like if Tim's gone, then like it's even worse, you know. So I guess they're probably never really gonna let Tim go, but I don't know. It's sad. Tim deserved better. Elige deserved better, I think, than the Complexity roster. I mean, I will say this new liquid lineup is it's kind of exciting. I mean I see the potential. I see what they're saying. Like I see what they're or I see what they're going for, you know. Whether or not it'll really come to fruition is, or how well they do is I think going to really depend on how well Ikinder can IGL on his own. I mean, he had been for a while, I believe, or at least for all of the Paris major, maybe. But obviously, Nitro was still there, and Nitro could still like help call. And I mean, unless Rainraker or Patsy are gonna like kind of help call with Ikinder, I mean, I don't really see it because OC just recently became more quote-unquote vocal, but that doesn't necessarily mean like he's gonna like help all strats or anything. And obviously Naf ain't saying nothing, so I mean, I don't know. It really depends on Ikinder's IGLing ability, but if he can, if that part can work, then I think this team has a shot. Again, jumping back to complexity, it's, I don't know, it's I suppose it could. It's just I don't think changing Fang out for Elige really makes the team that much better. Like, in theory, if this team, quote unquote, were to have a chance, it already would have been doing like at least decently, or at least would have been doing better than what they're doing now, which is like pretty bad. I mean, it's pretty low. The bar is pretty low right now, you know. I mean, that's not EG low, but it's still pretty low. They're not doing nothing, and I really don't think Elige is gonna change that too much. And maybe they get better, but not by a lot, really. And EG. Okay, well, EG hasn't released any official announcement about the roster yet, so this probably isn't right, you know. But also it's weird because, like, okay, it's very weird because, okay, so they had this blueprint project, right? Now they're turning their backs on that, apparently, right? What does it say here? Well, it doesn't say here, but they're you know, I mean, they're kind of canceling the whole blueprint project, I guess, because if they're just gonna promote the 4 players from EG Black and then keep automatic, and then they're just gonna say goodbye to the rest of the players on the current main roster, then like what's I mean, I guess the blueprint project is done. I mean, they already did like let go of that one other team, EG Blue, no, EG White, I don't know. They already did let go of them, I suppose, so they like pretty recently just signed Refresh. I mean, okay, we don't know if this is really true, because like I honestly think it's like there's no way that they would do this. Like they would cut out Refresh, considering they just signed him, and he is like, you know, he was kind of someone that they really tried to pick up, right? I mean, it's a European player, you know, that was joining this really shit form of EG, right? But I don't know. Okay, okay. Even theoretically, like best outcome, let's pull up EG Black's roster. So you have Rush, Junior, Walco Hext, George. I mean, okay. Walco and George are unproven. Maybe they do better than certain other players. I don't know. It's unlikely though. Which leaves us with actual good players. We have Rush, maybe. I don't know. I haven't paid attention to Junior ever since he joined EG Black, but Junior back when he was on a complexity was a shoddy. He kind of back and forth. You know, sometimes he did fine. He did pretty good. Other times he really disappointed. So I'm not really gonna count on him. Next, he did play with the main roster for a bit, and you know, got that European and real tier 1 practice, I suppose. But there's a reason why he's you know, in EG Black now. He was removed from the main roster because he's you know, he didn't really perform that well. So really, I think it only leaves us with Rush from EG Black, who's of any level of decency. And so we have Rush, Automatic, Nealon, and Refresh. That's 4 players. And even that 4, just looking at that, those 4, like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Like, Tim's good. Nealon's okay. I mean, it's more, you know, IGL at this point really isn't the big deal. It's more really who you put around the IGL, and Nealon's okay, so. Refresh, yeah, is okay. I don't know if, you know, he can really perform that well with this team, with such a, like, as abysmal, like, just situation, but. So, like, Tim, Automatic, and Refresh, okay. Rush, like, despite saying that Rush was, like, EG Black's best player, I mean, Rush has not played tier 1 in a bit. Last time he did play tier 1, he didn't play particularly amazing. He was pretty meh off and on, you know. At best, he was meh. So, like, the only thing that I really see going for him is just his experience and the fact that he has, you know, played with Tim, and he can probably get along with Tim, right? They have good chemistry, so. But I don't even know who you would pick up and put in, add to those 4 players either, so. But yeah, I don't think that's I don't even know if that's what they're gonna do. According to this report, they're not even gonna use they're probably I guess not, this one it doesn't necessarily say, but I mean they're probably gonna use 4 out of the EG Black players, which again means that Refresh is gone? Nealon is gone? Huh? I don't know. I mean, remains to be seen. It's nothing, you know. Maybe they would do something that's gonna be exciting. Maybe they don't, and maybe they stay the real shit show that they are. And North America just stays real sad and miserable. I don't know. Like, we just don't have anyone. Like, the only, like, decent, like, players we have in North America are, like, okay, well, good players we have. Naf, I'd be willing to still put Elige in there. Tim, I think, is also maybe there. And Grim. I'll put JT in there because he's mostly North NA now at this point. I mean, it's kind of always been, but yeah. It's just them, really, who are the really good ones. And then decent people we have, like maybe Rush, maybe OC, and that's all. Because Nitro's gone, but you know I'm gonna be honest. While Nitro, okay, Nitro is much better than a lot of a lot of these other players here, you know, on EG and Complexity, but he himself was definitely the weakest point on Liquid for the past few months, for the past year, so, you know. Got the legacy though. But yeah, like it's dire times. It's real dire times. Really hoping that Stu can come back and save us. But that is seeming very unlikely. Tarek is never going to come back to us and save us, but, you know. I wonder whose fault that is. I wonder whose fault it is that Evil Geniuses sucks. Maybe it's their management that just screwed everything up, because their management made Tarek leave, you know, screwed up the whole roster thing with Stewie and Malik and just that roster. I mean, yes, Stewie was maybe a lot. Maybe Stewie takes a lot of the blame there, but it's clear the management is really terrible at EG. You know, Naf had one meeting with the management and said nope. So it's just and now Automatic is just stuck in hell with EG. It's just, Malik is honestly, I feel bad for Malik because he deserves better as a coach. It's just not good. It's just other players, you know, who, you know, could have been better, like Breezy, Cirque, were kind of ruined by EG's just management and just all that. I mean, well, they still kind of ruined themselves, Breezy and Cirque and like Obo even, but I think EG definitely could have done a better job, you know? Well, it's a sad day, but I suppose it's somewhat exciting, you know, because it is what it is. We gotta just move on. I guess we'll be mostly supporting NA will be supporting Complexity now, mainly, which is fine. You know, I like Grim, I like JT, I like Elish, so I hope they do well. I hope. I just don't think it's likely.